So on July 8th, 1997, Primus released the Brown Album, their fourth studio album and their first album without Tim Herb Alexander, and their first album with Brian Brain Mantia. Um, yeah, Herb left at the end of the last tour for Tales from the Punch Bowl because he wanted to do something else musically. He was tired of touring, and they just made a mutual decision that he should leave. And he left. They got Brain, and Brain is a heavier drummer than Herb. He's not necessarily a better drummer. He's definitely heavier, and the style changes a little bit on this album. You can tell the differences. Les Claypool has said that this is a milestone album for Primus, which deserves a milestone title. The Beatles have their White Album, Metallica has their Black Album, and Primus should have their Brown Album. And this is an album that was kind of not looked upon very well by critics and a lot of fans. I'm not one of them. I happen to be a big fan of this album. I think this is one of those albums you just gotta keep listening to and it grows on you. It's been accused of being flat sounding. I don't see it, but people can have their opinions. So I'm just going to get right into this. This is the fourth studio album by Primus. The first song is called The Return of Saddington Willoughby. You may remember the name Saddington Willoughby from Frizzle Fry. And it's just a made-up politician that the band made up. The song is really a commentary on how politicians just say a whole bunch of stuff without really saying anything. Like this song, he gives a long speech to an audience on various subjects, and he doesn't really say a whole lot. And that's really what politicians do. They're kind of scum. So yeah, this is a really cool song. I like it a lot, and I kind of wish they would start opening shows with this once in a while. It'd be a really cool opening song. I've never seen him open a show with it. I think I heard him do it once. That was it. Alright, number 2, Fisticuffs. It's a song about a guy named James Ambrose, a real guy, who was also called Yankee Sullivan, who was a bare-knuckle boxer back in the 1800s, which is, I can't imagine people doing that today. It's he was a self-proclaimed greatest, the champion of the world, because the one guy who beat him died. So after that guy died, he was like, I'm the greatest. He owned a saloon at one point. He retired and then went to California and was kind of a criminal there, got himself arrested, and he died in jail under mysterious circumstances. They found him with his wrist slit, and they don't believe that he did it himself. So this is really a story about that guy, and just a really good song. Larry, guitar player, really shines on this song. I love the guitar stuff in this song. It just goes so well with the bass line, and a really great song. Number 3, Golden Boy. You listen to the lyrics, pretty self-explanatory. It's about a guy who works at a liquor mart, catches somebody stealing 40s liquor, and he shoots him. And he's put on the stand. He's put on trial. They ask him, do you feel any remorse for doing this? He's like, literally, this is what it says. Hell no, a thief's a thief, and I'd shoot that fucker again. So he feels no remorse. So this is a great song. The bass line is one of their best, I think. It's great. Just check it out. It's so good. Okay, number 4, Over the Falls. It's, on the surface, it's about a guy going over the falls, getting in a barrel, going over Niagara Falls. If you know anything about Niagara Falls, people used to do this a lot. Once in a while, someone still tries to do it. But it seems to be underneath kind of about Les Claypool's career in general, his music career. It's your turn to go over the falls, your turn to make it. And I really like the video for this song. It's shot in black and white. It looks like old archival footage of things. I actually think they might actually use some actual footage of people going over the falls. It's shot in black and white. They're wearing suits. He's got a stand-up bass, and it's just a really cool video. Great song, great video. Alright, guys, turn the page. There's a lot of songs in this album. Shake Hands with Beef. The first single from this album, and a crazy good bass line, crazy heavy bass line. And a lot of people think it's about jerking off, you know, shake hands with beef. But it's not. It's about vegetarians who aren't real vegetarians and they eat meat once in a while. They shake hands with beef. That's really what it's about. It's a really good song. The video features them as insects. And they're just buzzing around a barbecue. They land on garbage cans. They bug the people that are eating at this picnic. And it's an amusing video. It's not about masturbation. They do mention masturbation quite a bit. But this song is not about masturbation. It's about vegans who eat meat sometimes. Okay, number 6, Camelback Cinema starts out with some badass drumming from Brain, like heavy drumming. And I don't really know what it's about. No one really seems to know what it's about. It talks about people in these characters who seem to enjoy the movie White Lightning. Sorry, I gotta keep adjusting my mask. It's bugging me. Who seem to enjoy this movie called White Lightning from, I believe, the 70s that stars Burt Reynolds. It says a lot like, she likes Burt and White Lightning, he likes Burt and White Lightning. So, I guess that's what it's about. Camelback Cinema, I don't know what that is. But it's a really good song. The drums are incredible on it. Alright, 7, Hats Off. Just seems to be, it's a short song, like 2 minutes maybe. It seems to be just like a brief story of Les Claypool's life, his birth, teaching himself to play bass, other things. It's a cool song. It's brief, but it's cool. Puddin'Tane, number 8. I don't know what it's about. About a guy who thinks he's the shit. He says things like, if I shake my trousers down, I'm hung just above the knees. Stuff like that. He's just full of himself, and kind of sounds like pudding time, but it's not. It's Puddin'Tane. And I guess it's a saying a lot of people used to say in the South. I don't know if they still do. My name's Puddin'Tane. If you ask again, the answer will be the same. Something like that. I might be quoting it wrong, but I don't know. It's a great song, though. It's one of my favorite on this album. It's really fucking good. Number 9, Bob's Party Time Lounge. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's about a guy with a lounge. There's rumors that it's about Bob Cock, who's a friend of the band, a longtime friend of the band. He's actually in the video for Jerry's a Race Car Driver, about him ODing on something, and this is him in the afterlife doing what he does. It's a very atmospheric song, and I like it. It's not one of my favorites on this album, but I like it good enough. Number 10, Duchess and the Proverbial Mind Spread. It's about acid, LSD. And it's about, they describe drug trips in it, and they describe going to see the dead, following the dead around, and at one point they say he gets arrested for selling LSD. It says 20 years for spreading minds, and has a really insistent bass line. It's over and over again. Again, a really good song. Not one of my favorites on this album, but I do listen to it sometimes. Number 11, Rest in Bones. It's like a song about him meeting some older man, sitting down with him, listening to the older man's stories. And he mentions Johnny Cash, he mentions Elvis, smokes weed with him, and listens to his stories of the old days. He just says he's just resting his bones. This is where the album starts to get a little weaker after Duchess and the Proverbial Mind Spread. Not weak, but weaker than the other songs. I can see where people start to not like this album at this point, but it's still pretty good. Especially number 12, the next one, Coddingtown, is a badass song that is one of the best on the album. There's a shopping mall in Santa Rosa, California called Coddingtown. And there's a Sunoco in there that's short for Sonoma, which he's mentioned in songs. This is where Claypool lives. Sonoma County is where Claypool lives. And Coddingtown is there. Del Davis Tree Farm is there, which is another Primus song. And the stand-up bass in this is fucking great. It's heavy. It's a quick, heavy song, and it's really fucking good. Very good. Okay, number 13. Like I said, there's a lot of songs in this album. Kalamazoo. It's a city in Michigan. And I guess the song is kind of based off a song called Kalamazoo by the Glenn Miller Orchestra. I've never heard it. I'm not really into that stuff, but I guess they do the whole A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H thing in that song too. And they do in this one. Kalamazoo, city of Michigan. And sounds to me it's about a man living in Kalamazoo who is basically going nowhere in his life. And from what I hear, that's what a lot of people in Kalamazoo do. No offense to anyone in Kalamazoo, but for people I know, I've heard talk about that place. That's, I guess, what goes on there. Number 14, The Chastising of Renegade. It's about a kid with ADD who goes crazy, who does crazy shit to get attention, which as a lot of kids with ADD do, and doesn't really care about getting caught or any of the consequences of it. And they call him Renegade in the song. They don't actually say his real name. I don't know if his real name is supposed to be Renegade, but it's a cool song. Not one of the best on the album, like I said. Same with the one before it, Kalamazoo. I do like Kalamazoo more than Chastising of Renegade, though. Arnie. It's about a guy, maybe Sathington Willoughby. He's giving a speech. And as he's giving the speech, he steps to a microphone and lights himself on fire. They don't say that it's Sathington Willoughby in the song, but the album starts with a speech, the album ends with a speech, and the guy lights himself on fire, so I don't know. I'm thinking it could be Sathington Willoughby, but I could be wrong. So that's the Brown album. Sorry it took me a little while to get this one up. I haven't put up a Primus review in about a week and a half. Like I said, I'm trying to get these reviews done by the time I go see them in July. I'm doing pretty good. They've been playing a new song live, and they've said they're recording a new album. I'm not sure when this new album's going to come out, but that's great news. And as soon as it comes out, I will be reviewing it. So yeah, I would give this album a 7 out of 10. The first up to like 9, I'd say the first 8 songs of this album are incredible. And after that, it's pretty good. There's a couple really good songs mixed in with the pretty good on the last half of the album. But overall, I give it a 7. It's underrated Primus album. People, you talk to a lot of Primus fans, they'll tell you this album sucks. I don't agree with them. So, give it a shot. It's pretty good. Alright guys, what can I say? Like, subscribe to my channel. Check out my Facebook, my Twitter. I'll put that in the description below. Comment below. Let me know what you think of this album. If you think I'm full of shit. Yeah. Share my videos. Whatever you want to do. Have a great day, everybody. And remember, Primus sucks.